We back with another one, man, and we gonna get right off into probably one of the craziest athletes I think we've ever seen, especially being 6'7", not really the most coordinated, but kind of coordinated, and was honestly a science experiment. Chinese government, from what I understand, from what I've heard about the story, the Chinese government took two of the tallest people that they could find in China. I haven't watched none of this. This is what I've heard from other like other videos I've watched on Yao Ming. It's the Chinese government got two of the tallest basketball players or two of the tallest people in China, and that's how Yao Ming became who he was. And we're gonna get right off into this and find out a little bit more about Yao Ming's backstory because I really don't know much about him. Like I know a lot about his playing days, you know what I mean? And I know he's from China, but that's really about all I know about him. So like, comment, subscribe, drop comments below on other videos y'all want me to react to, and we're gonna get right off into this. Let's do it.
7'6", Yao Ming is one of the four tallest players in NBA history. And amongst the tallest of the tall, Yao was also the most skilled. Soft touch, behind-the-back dimes, and a reliable jumper that was impossible to block made Yao a superstar.
Heck.
He was the first pick in the
He was a beast, bro. Nobody could handle Yao.
2002 NBA draft and was one of the most talented centers to ever play.
Highly skilled, can dribble the ball, can make the right passes, left hand, right hand. He had it, bro.
And if it wasn't for injuries, Yao could have been the best big man of all time.
When you think about all the great players that came over to play and establish themselves in the NBA, he's one of the best. Yao around.
Jeremy Lin's not even from China though, is he? Like, are there any, I'm not saying players come from all around the world to play in the league, but have we ever seen any other Chinese players like actually from China or just Chinese players in general? Because no disrespect to the Chinese people, but they're usually pretty short, and basketball is a tall man's game. So like, other than Jeremy Lin, and which I don't think Jeremy Lin's even Chinese, is he? He's like, I don't know what he is, but I'm not meaning that in a bad way. I just don't. But like, I think Yao Ming's the only player we've ever seen come from China, right? If I'm wrong, let me know below, please.
The league in terms of what other players say about him. We all think he's a monster.
However, Yao's story is much more complex than that of the average NBA player. His mother and father were both former basketball stars, born and raised in communist China, whose leaders arranged the marriage of Yao's parents in order to produce a superior athlete.
Okay, so that is right. The story I heard was right.
And after Yao was born, he and his parents had to go through hell for him to make the NBA. Yao was a giant who hated basketball and also wasn't good at it, but was literally forced to get good, practicing 10 hours a day until he became one of the best players in the NBA.
My first 6 months were really, really hard. 10 hours a day for 6 days a week.
This is a story about persistence, fighting oppression, and playing basketball just to have food on the table. It's the story of Yao Ming, one of the biggest and most unusual superstars in NBA history.
Imagine being able to build an app with your...
Yao Ming made Shaq look small. He's Wemby's height.
AI creation platform.
7'6", that's how tall Wemby is.
Yao Ming was born in Shanghai in 1980, but to fully explain how he came to this world, we have to go back in history. In 1965, Yao's mother, Fang Fendi, also known as Da Fang, had arrived at the elite sports training center that would become her home for the next 5 years. Da Fang didn't want to be there, as she had no interest in playing basketball. But due to her extraordinary height of 6'2", which made her 6 inches taller than the average Chinese man, the Shanghai
I was
sport...
about to say, that's got to make you a lot taller than the average Chinese man. Holy crap. 6'2" for a female is tall if you're fucking corn-fed, cornbread, you know what I mean? Fucking country-born cornbread fucking type of females be getting 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", like, yeah, like, holy fuck, I'm sure 6'2" as a female in China is huge.
Figures selected her to become the next basketball prodigy. And with basketball, she escaped the world of poverty and worrying about her next meal. But it came at
She looked like a big sister playing with her little sisters out there. What the fuck?
an extreme cost. She trained 8 to 10 hours a day, year-round, on courts that were freezing cold in the winter and blistering hot in the summer. Meanwhile, coaches mistreated and forced trainees to play sick or injured, all under the pretense of building up a revolutionary spirit under the communist regime of Mao Zedong. Due to her height and tenacity, she became the standout center of her generation and the captain of the Chinese national team that won a gold medal at the 1976 Asian Championship. However, due to her persistent injuries, she requested to retire from basketball in 1978. But under the regime, she couldn't choose her own fate. So, in order to let her retire,
So they forced her to have a kid with another tall person to make Yao Ming. Are we being serious?
the Shanghai sports figures ordered her to produce an offspring. Up to that point, Da Fang had never dated, as it was strictly forbidden until athletes either retired or turned 28. So before Da Fang even started to look for a husband, Shanghai officials had already identified a suitable partner for her, a 6'8" basketball player, Yao Zhiyuan. And even though
So neither one of them were 7 foot. 6'8" and 6'2".
she knew who he was, Da Fang had barely ever spoken to her future husband. But neither of them really had a choice in the matter. They began dating, and soon she became pregnant with the child that would become a global sensation. On September 12, 1980, Da Fang gave birth to a child named Ming, which meant bright. And from the first second, it was clear that Yao Ming wasn't an ordinary kid, weighing 12 pounds
Oh my.
with feet and
12 pounds. That poor woman. That poor woman.
fists so fully formed
I
that
don't
they
care if she was 6'2". That's really not that big. Giving birth to a 12-pound baby is insane.
seemed to belong to a 3-year-old. Ming was twice the size of the average Chinese newborn. News of Yao Ming's birth was quickly relayed across town to the top leaders of the Shanghai Sports Commission, who were not surprised by his size, as it was their mission to cultivate a new generation of athletes who would embody the rising power of China. And one might think that the young Yao would have the best possible conditions to develop his basketball skills, but this was the furthest thing.
Can you imagine if Wemby finds himself a 7-foot girlfriend or a 6'10" girlfriend and they have a kid? Motherfucker probably come out 5 foot though, honestly. But nah, fucking find a 7-foot girl to breed with 7'6" Wemby, bro. They might have an 8-footer.
From the truth. After Mao Zedong's death in 1976, some former enemies of the state were rehabilitated, resulting in Da Fang getting demoted. Yao's mom was transferred from a respected basketball coach to what one former teammate described as the worst job in the sports system, doing menial work at a compound for retired athletes. Yao's father was a part of the same system, groomed to be a basketball player all his life, and he was only able to find manual labor jobs, ultimately settling for work at the Shanghai port.
Think about it. My parents probably have as such a high talent player too, but they born in 1970. They have no chance to make this kind of a success.
The Yao family made less than 80 yuan.
That's facts. There was no chance that his dad had any chance of making it to the NBA back in the 70s. You know what I mean?
Per month, about $50 at the time, which was barely enough to feed them and their rapidly growing child. So by the time Yao Ming turned 4, he measured close to 4 feet.
That's a 4-year-old? Holy fuck. I thought I was 8-year-old. That's a 4-year-old? You've got to be kidding me.
And weighed a whopping 60 pounds.
Jeez.
There were rations on everything when I was little. The government gave you tickets to buy food. They weren't food stamps because you still had to pay. The tickets didn't mean you would get food either. You had to have the tickets just for the chance to buy
What?
food, if there was any left. Once you used up your tickets, that was it, even if you had more money. Yao. By the age of 8, Ming was already 5'7", and his potential as a basketball player was impossible to ignore. State representatives came to Yao's small apartment one day, requesting that Ming
At Allstate, what's important to you is important to us.
That's actually
right now, what's-
insane. 4 feet as a 4-year-old is crazy work, dude. Like, what are we talking about? That's actually nuts. Holy crap.
You to know, part 2.
Man, what the fuck?
Find out exactly how much your competitor.
I didn't
be
didn't even know 4-year-olds could possibly be 4 fucking foot tall.
transferred to a sports school, where his main focus would be basketball. However, Yao's parents were reluctant, as they wanted their son to have the education they had been deprived of. But the state representatives persisted, reminding them their son's talents belonged to the nation, and that the sports school could provide him not just with training, but also with free food. We didn't choose this career for him, but we were basketball players. All our old colleagues and coaches.
And he was so big, and they were having to ration food. So as soon as they heard that he could get all the food he needed, they probably were like, yeah, he don't have to worry about being hungry. Like, let him go to that school.
Coaches had their eyes on Yao Ming since he was young.
As a fortunate, I have parents be my hero. And every day that I do and try, I can make them proud.
Even though he wanted to become an archaeologist as a kid, Yao had too much respect for his parents to object to their reasoning. So he transferred to the sports school, where he would practice 6 times per week.
I went to the sports first level academy when I was 9 years old. We still study as a normal student from 8 o'clock all the way to 2. And then the difference is we have to participate a 3-hour practice after that, and then homework. And the rest of the kids they still can play sports, but not like a central practice. It's a very random practice, a random play, and you can do your homework and go do whatever. We don't have that kind of a luxury time.
Yao hated basketball, but he made himself attend practice purely for his parents. His size.
As somebody who loved basketball, bro, I would have died to have his freaking size as a kid. Oh my God. So the fact that he hated basketball and had to be forced into it and it was still as good as he was is actually crazy.
Has made him clumsy, as he never felt comfortable in his ever-growing body, which caused ridicule from other students. But other than shame, there was also physical exhaustion, as Yao was forced to run up and down the court until his feet burned. When Yao came home from practice demoralized and wanting to quit, his father would take him behind their building to shoot at the hoop hanging above the bicycle garage. For every basket Yao made, his father promised to buy him a little gift, bribing him to continue playing. His mother had a different approach, once taking him to see the Harlem Globetrotters. And for the first time ever, Yao realized that basketball could be fun. Still, when Yao was 12 years old, his mother was...
It wasn't fun for him. No, basketball was fun to me. Even though I was super competitive, he was forced into it and forced to go to a school to where they worked him so hard as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. So he never got to develop that love for the game before he was he never got to develop the love for the game before he was really forced in practice. You know what I mean?
Fed up with seeing her only son suffer, perfectly knowing how hard it is to play a sport you don't love. So she removed Yao from the sports school and enrolled him at a nearby middle school that had a strong academic pedigree. Da Fang only wanted Yao Ming to study. She didn't care if he played basketball again, Yao's former coach said. However, despite his best efforts and bright mind, Yao struggled to keep up with school, as he had devoted the last 4 years to basketball and had a very poor academic background.
Damn. So he kind of got stuck in the middle. Wasn't good at school, didn't like basketball.
At the age of 13, he was already 6'7".
Jesus. This sounds like the shit of movies. 6'7" at 13 is insane.
And the sports authorities were persistent in getting him back on the court. They were amazed by Yao's size, feeling that his on-court struggles would vanish if he started training like a professional. So, due to poor finances, struggles at school, and pressure from the government, Yao moved out of his parents' apartment to live at the Shanghai Sports Technology Institute. And over the next several years, Shanghai's top coaches and scientists worked insanely hard to turn the awkward giant into a basketball star, while his parents barely ever saw him.
The junior team of the Shanghai City think I'm good enough. They draft me to the next level. So from that I have a very minimal education time. But a maximum practice time. Almost my first 6 months were really, really hard. 10 hours a day for 6 days a week.
10 hours a day, 6 days a week at 14 years old.
14, it's actually 13 and a half.
By 1997,
and they were pushing that, man.
Yao reached 7'2", and his basketball skills finally started to come around. After years of grueling, almost military-style drilling and training up to 10 hours a day, he was no longer clumsy, developing a soft touch around the basket and physically overwhelming anybody who stood in his way.
Man, I would have killed to have his height. If I could have had his size as a basketball player, oh my goodness.
I believe that my greatest strength is my height. Besides that, I'm young and I have lots of energy. I'm also willing to learn as much as I can about the sport.
See? Any young player who says that right there, which you don't hear it very often. You hear it from like a handful of young players every year, or a lot of young players come in the game hot-headed, thinking that they it. And the ones that come in the league like ready to learn, those are the ones who make it far and become some of the best players we've ever seen. Look at Victor. As soon as he got in the league, he was trying to learn everything he can, like Kobe Bryant, like freaking, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of players that I've heard over the years like talk about like, I'm just trying to learn. And those are usually the players that end up being some of the best players we've ever seen.
Ming joined the Shanghai Sharks senior team, averaging 10 points and 8 rebounds per game. During his rookie season, Nike representatives had heard about the Chinese giant, sending their people to watch Yao play and hoping that Ming would help them expand the market and sell millions of sneakers to the Chinese masses. Per Nike's request, Dafeng pushed Shanghai sports leaders to let Yao attend a 1997 Nike junior basketball camp in Paris. After his mother's wish was granted, Ming left the country for the first time in his life. With a curious mind and eagerness to see the world, Yao realized that basketball truly could be his golden ticket in life, and that he really could play in the NBA someday, which translated to more confidence on the court.
I played against a couple guys, and they told me that they had potential being lottery pick in NBA, like Tyson Chandler. Played pretty well against them. I might have a chance. And that kind of experience really opened my eye and extend my confidence.
In his sophomore season, at the age of 18, Yao increased his averages to 21 points and 13 rebounds per game, and improved his free throw percentage from 48% as a rookie to 70% as a sophomore. However, in just 12 games, his season was cut short due to a broken left foot, which was the second.
Damn, broken left foot in his second year.
However, in just 12 games, his season was cut short due to a broken left foot, which was the second time he broke it, mainly due to his enormous size.
Yeah.
And
that's why, like, when OKC was trying to step on Wemby's feet and shit when he was trying to jump and shit, I said that's dirty play, because I said that's his biggest weakness is his feet and his ankles with how tall he is. Like, when you're that big and you have that big of feet, it's a huge problem.
The crazy hours he was putting in the gym. Ming said that as a result of that injury, his athleticism decreased and that his vertical jump dropped by 4 to 6 inches. But
we had the best time. Until
damn,
we got even more of it.
Sorry, I kept looking down at my arm. There's a spot in my arm hurting. That shit's killing me. These damn fucking ads though, man. But damn, like, Yao Ming is definitely one of the best fucking.
Great. So you can get
I think you think Yao Ming's the biggest freak of nature we've ever seen, like just come into the NBA out of nowhere, like Victor and shit. Like, we saw him way before he came into the league. Like, people were watching him way. Like, Yao Ming, like, from what I know of, he kind of just showed up out of nowhere. The only people that really knew Yao Ming existed were the people in China and the people that found him and brought him to the NBA. Like, he wasn't like a super hype prospect or nothing like that from what I know about.
Turned in time for the start of the 1999-2000 CBA season, and by then he reached his adult height of 7'6". That size advantage helped him increase his numbers to 21 points and 15 rebounds per game. Ming helped the Sharks reach the CBA Finals, but they lost against the 5-time defending champions Beiyi Rockets and their 7-foot center Wang Zhizhi, who was the leading
another 7-footer in China. What the
scorer and the best player in the league. During his third year as a professional, Yao and his family were approached by Li Yaomin, the deputy general manager of the Shanghai Sharks. Li had set up a meeting for Yao with the representatives of Evergreen Sports Management, an American company that wanted to manage Yao. Li pleaded that Yao had nothing to worry about and that he would be taken care of for life, but it was all a big fraud. The agreement entitled Evergreen to 33% of Yao's earnings, and Li threatened Yao and his mother that it would be his only chance to play in the NBA. While not willing to anger a high-level team executive, Dafeng and Yao reluctantly accepted the deal, which infuriated Nike, who felt that they were betrayed and that Ming was tricked.
Yeah.
Nike eventually offered Yao.
He was definitely tricked. 100% he was tricked. What are we talking about? That's terrible. Damn, bro. Always somebody trying to take, like, anytime anybody's on the come up, bro, there's always somebody right there trying to put their foot in, you know what I mean? Put their hand in the gold pot, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? There's always somebody there trying to take something or get something out of the situation instead of just like, you guys already bred him specifically for this, and now you want to take his money too?
Now a 4-year endorsement deal worth $20,000 per year, which was a big sum for the poor family. But Dafeng felt that this contract was also shoved down their throats and that it didn't fully represent Yao's value and potential. Over the next 3 years, Da Fang and Yao battled the immoral contract they signed with Evergreen. But the Shanghai officials, as well as the Beijing government, deemed the contract valid, which caused headaches for Yao and his mother, who was basically his agent at the time. However, on the court, Ming was thriving. In his 4th season with the Sharks, Yao averaged 27 points and 19 rebounds per game, improving his
19 rebounds a game is crazy.
Throw percentage to 80%, which was sensational for a center. But despite his rapid improvement, the Shanghai Sharks once again lost in the finals to the Beiyee Rockets. But in the following season, there was no more stopping Yao, who averaged a league-leading 32 points and 19 rebounds per game in the regular season. And when the playoffs started, he was even better. Ming posted 39 points and 20 rebounds per game in the postseason, making an unreal 76% of his shots. He led the Sharks to their first ever CBA championship and posted 39 points and 20 rebounds per game in the post.
39 and 20 is crazy on 73%
season, making an unreal
76% shooting. 29 and 20 or 35 and 20 is crazy.
6% of his shots. He led the Sharks to their first ever
Those are some crazy stats.
CBA championship, and during one game in the finals, Yao made all 21 of his field goal attempts. It was
even shooting the 3? Yao.
During one game in the finals, Yao made all 21 of his field goal attempts. It was clear that Yao had outgrown the Chinese Basketball League and that his next stop should be the NBA, where he was projected to be the first overall pick in the 2002 draft. However, his career was once again jeopardized by contract disputes and the Chinese government, which felt that Ming was a product of their system and that he should give 50% of all his earnings to the state. And yet, after Wang Zhizhi, who left for the NBA in the previous season, thus becoming the first Chinese player in the
Okay, see, I didn't know about him. I never heard about him.
The NBA, declined to play for the Chinese national team, the state officials feared that Yao might do the same. Yao's mother was furious and tormented by all the government restrictions, offering an ultimatum that her son would never play basketball again if the country kept insisting on getting 50%
Yeah, for real. Good on her. Good for the mom, man.
50% of his earnings.
I mean, CBA would, at the end, the CBA would not stop me.
Finally, mere hours before the NBA draft, the Chinese government relinquished the rights to Yao's finances, also deeming his contract with Evergreen invalid. But in return, Yao had to pledge his allegiance to the national.
That's respectable. They wanted to make sure he played on the Chinese Olympic team every year and the Chinese nationals team and everything. I can understand that. They didn't want him to play for the United States team. They wanted him to play for their home team since he came from China. That makes sense. You know what I mean? You can understand that. But, yeah, 50% of his earnings? 50% of his earnings? Fuck, no, you can't.
They sent a reassuring fax to the Rockets that Yao would be cleared to play and continue his basketball career, after which Houston selected Yao well picked.
With the first pick, the Houston Rockets select Yao Ming from Shanghai, China.
When the NBA commissioner David Stern announced Yao's name as the top pick, Da Fang clapped lightly and barely showed any excitement, tormented by the whole process and contract disputes with the government. With the NBA TV crew around them, the league personnel had to prompt the family to show some excitement for the cameras, and the Yao family proceeded to make one of the fakest group high fives in TV history.
I remember the moment
they did not look
I ready to step on a plane to Houston at the airport, Shanghai Hongqiao Airport. You know, the way
they were not
to the plane, there's a tunnel right there, and you just walk on there, walk on the plane, right? So I feel that tunnel is so dark right there. It's almost like a black hole trying to eat me. It really made me think, oh, maybe I should turn around right there.
But even with all the drama finally behind him, Yao's life wasn't easy. He came to the States without a full grasp of the English language.
So he almost didn't even get on the plane. Can you imagine if Yao Ming, one of the greatest centers we've ever seen, decided, you know what, I'm going to turn around and walk off this plane. I'm going to, instead of going to America and playing in the NBA, I'm going to stay here and work one of these jobs with my dad. We would have missed out on legacy, on some of the most legendary shit we've ever seen in the NBA.
And for the first time in nearly 8 years, he was living with his parents. His mother, Da Fang, could be very controlling, and she even set an allowance for him, despite Yao making millions from endorsements and his NBA contract.
Insane. insane. He's the one making millions. How is she setting an allowance?
On top of that, Yao became a superstar, and his every move was followed by more than 100 Chinese reporters. His every word was thoroughly dissected, so he had to be really careful in how he operated on a day-to-day basis.
I have to say I feel nervous at that time. When I come here, they put a lot of focus on me, and you know, in this world, it's like a lot of focus, there's also a lot of pressure is coming.
Yao did not participate in the Rockets' preseason training camp.
Facts. The more people are focused on you, the more pressure that's on you to like really perform and really be like that dude. Like you gotta hold yourself up to what everybody's saying you are. You know what I mean? Like you got a standard that everybody's expecting you to be at. And if you're not at that standard, then you're a wash. Then you're only in the league for 1 or 2 years because you weren't worth the money. So yeah, man, when you got that eyes on you, that pressure comes with it.
Instead, playing for China in the 2002 FIBA World Championships, honoring his pre-draft deal with the government. However, this wasn't actually a burden for Yao, who loved playing for China, often stressing that he favored playing for the national team over the NBA. Even though China won just 2 games, with 6 losses, Yao was the second leading scorer of the tournament, with 21 points per game on 75% shooting from the field. He was also the second leading rebounder and number 1 in blocks with 3.3 rejections per game.
Those are solid numbers, damn.
Well, before I missed that 2 weeks training camp, I missed the whole summer playing. You know, the summer league, the rookie class, everything.
But when the NBA season finally started, Yao struggled. He wasn't familiar with his teammates, his English wasn't great, and the physicality of the NBA was overwhelming, something he had never experienced before.
He's not really dominating, like dunking the ball, things like that, right? And I'm looking at him like, oh, dog, you too big. Like, I'm from North Philadelphia. So I'm like, yo, you need to be aggressive. You need to like break somebody's neck. So I'm cuss him out. It's little guards blocking his shot. It's like stuff like that. And I'm like, dog, this is crazy, dog. I can't deal with this.
The Rockets coaches wanted Yao to get more aggressive, telling him to use his size and dunk the ball, but he would simply lay the ball in. Finally, the coaches made everyone run laps when Yao didn't dunk. And because he didn't want to see his teammates punished because of him, Yao started dunking.
Good plan. You could tell Yao Ming's a genuine guy. He didn't want people running laps because he didn't want to dunk the ball. He's like, all right, fine, I'll fucking dunk it.
Make me feel so hurt that my teammate have to run because my mistake. You know, I just, back then, dunk for me is like embarrassing people, disrespect.
The difference between the Chinese Basketball Association 20 years ago and the NBA was not skill only. It was a different understanding of basketball. I had to change my understanding of the game. In the CBA, my height scared people. When they saw how tall I was, they gave me space to work. In the NBA, every possession was a fight. In his first 7 games in the NBA, the tallest player in the league averaged just 4 points and 3 rebounds, with many analysts claiming he'd be a bust. Charles Barkley took it one step further on Inside the NBA, claiming that Yao wouldn't score 19 points in a game during the entire season, and if he did, that he'd kiss Kenny Smith's.
Damn. Bro, you can't take anything Charles Barkley says for real. As good of a player as Charles Barkley was, and as much basketball as he's been around in his life, the dude low-key doesn't know shit about basketball. When I hear him talk about certain players and hear him talk about certain things, it's like, dude, do you even know what you're talking about? Like, how have you been around basketball for 50 years and you still talk like this?
Told you, if Yao Ming gets 19 points in the game this year, I'm gonna kiss his right here. Well, he had 12 points. Because he said that Yao Ming was the best player in Houston. Yao Ming made Sean Bradley look like Bill Russell.
Okay. Well, their bet became a viral sensation because in the 8th game of the season, Yao scored 20 points against the Lakers, shooting a perfect 9 for 9 from the field.
Can't wait to see TNT. You got to give the big man his time, bro. He came from China. He never experienced the toughness and the physicalness and all that of the NBA. You got to give the big man a second to learn. 9 games later.
Can't wait to see it.
And to honor the bet, Kenny brought a donkey to the studio and Barkley kissed it, which became one of the most memorable moments in the history of sports television.
Uh-oh. He's gonna kick him. Not exactly what the donkey wanted to hear. He's gonna kick him. He kissed it.
Walmart?
What the
Who knew?
fuck? I have never seen that before. That's insane, bro. Who the fuck brought a donkey out there? That's wild, dude.
And just 4 days after he won a bet for Kenny, Yao dropped 30 points on the Mavs, shooting 10 for 12 from the field with 16 rebounds.
Damn.
A month later, when the Rockets played the Lakers for the second time that season, it was the first duel between Yao and the most dominant player in the NBA, Shaquille O'Neal. Now, Shaq missed the first game against the Rockets, and he was keen to assert his dominance against a much taller opponent, which was pretty unusual for a 7'1" Shaq.
Wang Zhu, whatever your name is, you want some of Shaq food? Come get
Shaq fool. What the fuck?
I'll be waiting for you.
But when the game started, Yao blocked Shaq's first shot. He also blocked his second attempt, and then another one after that.
Damn.
Ming also scored the Rockets' first 6 points. And the game quickly reached a playoff-type atmosphere, with the crowd going crazy for Yao.
And I wanted to give him a little finesse. I wanted to show him all the smooth, so I get it, I get on the post, and I go right there, he blocks it. Crowd go crazy. You got that. You 7'8", you're supposed to block it. Right?
You're 7'8", you're supposed to block it once in a while.
Get another move, he blocks it. Third time he blocks it. Now I'm mad.
The Chinese giant was the biggest news in the sports world because
locking up Shaquille O'Neal like that, hell yeah. Shaq's probably the best big man we've ever seen play the game.
Rarely got blocked, let alone 3 times in a row.
First guy that blocked my shot 3 times in a row. So he's definitely the first guy I had to change how I played against him. Now I got to go in the playoff mode. Now I got to turn the power, turn it all the way out.
He said turn it all the way out.
Even though Shaq started playing better after that initial humiliation, finishing with 30 points to Yao's 10, the Chinese rookie earned his respect, quickly becoming a household name in the league.
I didn't know you spoke English until after the 3rd year. One time I shot a shot on your baseline. You said nice shot in perfect English. And I look at you and I said, yeah, you speak English? You said, yeah. You never asked me.
For the 2003 All-Star Game, Yao was voted as a starter, largely due to his popularity in China, as the voting for starter spots was entirely made from fan
votes. You never
votes.
asked me. You never spoke to me.
Yao received nearly 250,000 more votes than O'Neal, and he became the first rookie to start the All-Star Game since Grant Hill in 1995.
You got Michael Jordan guarding and Kevin Garnett. You see the lob over the top. Yao moving without the ball. Right to the
Ming played all 82 games and ended his rookie season with a respectable 13.5 points and 8.2 rebounds and 1.8 blocks per game, finishing a close second in Rookie of the Year voting behind Amari Stoudemire. In the offseason, Yao worked on his game, his body, and on his English. He pretty much didn't need a translator anymore, largely thanks to point guard Steve Francis, his teammate who became his best friend on the Rockets. Legendary Rockets coach Rudy Tomjanovich stepped down from the head coaching position and was replaced by Jeff Van Gundy, who realized that Yao had the biggest advantage, not only of any Rockets player, but of the whole NBA. Van Gundy made Yao the focal point of the offense, and Ming responded well, leading the Rockets in scoring with 17.5 points, along with 9 rebounds and 2 blocks per game.
Solid numbers. This is his 2nd year in the league? Damn, bro.
Again,
I wasn't
Yao
alive.
was voted.
So I was alive, but I wasn't I started watching the NBA in 2007, I want to say. 2007, because I watched Kobe lose in 2008. So yeah, I think I watched it 2007.
As the starter for the All-Star Game. But this time, it was on merit, not only because he was from a country with 1 billion people. Ming made the All-NBA 3rd team and even received some MVP votes. But most importantly, he helped the Rockets reach the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. Houston's defense improved from 29th in the league before Yao's arrival to 5th best, as every team...
Damn, that's not a little jump. That's a big jump from 29th in the league to 5th. If you got a top 5 defense, no matter what, you have a chance of going far. If you have a top 5 defense, you have a chance of really going far in the league.
Struggled to score in the paint against the Great Wall of China.
Great Wall.
And in the first round of the playoffs, the Rockets played the Lakers, which provided another clash of the 2 biggest centers in the league. Yao didn't have a great scoring series against Shaq, averaging 15 points per game, but O'Neal didn't fare much better, scoring just 16 points per game, which was by far the lowest scoring playoff series of his career. However, with Kobe Bryant in his prime and a much deeper roster, the Lakers dominated with...
See, and people want to say, Kobe, this is in the playoffs. And people want to say that fucking Shaq carried Kobe. But when Shaq got shut down, who the fuck was there to carry him? I thought he was Robin.
Winning the series in 5 games. After the season, the Rockets decided to go all in and bring more help for Yao, trading for the 2-time scoring champ Tracy McGrady.
When Tracy came to Houston, when McGrady came to Houston, did you think we're going to win 4 or 5 championships now?
Well, I didn't think that way. I'm thinking we're going to win the first one at the start. No.
Yeah.
It really was the perfect day.
See? He didn't have like LeBron came, we finna win 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. Like he was like, I just want to get the first one under my belt. Did Yao Ming ever get a championship though? I don't think he did. I'm not 100% sure on that. If somebody who watches this, let me know in the comments if Yao Ming ever got a championship.
First one, and then think about later.
In a 7-player deal, T-Mac, Juwan Howard, Tyronn Lue, and Reece Gaines were traded to the Rockets, while Steve Francis, Cuttino Mobley, and Kelvin Cato went to Orlando. And even though he was sad to part ways with Francis and Mobley, who became his best friends, Yao was excited to play with McGrady as the Rockets emerged as title contenders. During the summer,
Tracy McGrady's another legend that I think I need to react to because, dude, we've seen very few people who can dunk like Tracy McGrady. Holy fuck, he could fly out the building.
Ming also participated in the 2004 Olympics in Athens, where he was selected to carry the Chinese flag during the opening ceremony, which he said was the biggest honor of his career.
When we growing up, I played for national team, played in the Olympics. That was the priority. That's the, that is almost the same as here to play in the NBA.
Ming made a vow that he wouldn't shave for 6 months if the national team didn't advance through the group stage and make the quarterfinals, which would be the best result in national team history. In the last game of the group stage, with China needing a victory against Serbia to make the quarterfinals, Yao dominated with 27 points and 13 rebounds, hitting 2.
He said, watch this. I'm going to put my team on my big, wide fucking 7'6" back, and I'm going to carry y'all.
Clutch free throws in the final seconds to win the game, 68-67. And even though China lost to Lithuania in the quarters, Yao once again proved himself on the biggest stage, finishing the tournament as the best rebounder and the 3rd leading scorer with 21 points and 9 rebounds per game. When the 2005 season started, Tracy McGrady and Yao became the best 1-2 punch in the league, with T-Mac averaging 25.7 points and Yao scoring 18.3 points per game. Both McGrady and Yao were voted to start in the 2005 NBA All-Star.
That was a good duo, man. I've seen a lot of highlights and shit from that duo. That's a good duo. Fucking T-Mac and Yao Ming. Who else was on this team?
And Yao broke the record previously held by Michael Jordan for most All-Star votes, with 2,558,278 votes in total. The Rockets again dominated defensively because of Yao, finishing 4th in defensive rating and winning 51 games, the most since 1997. In the first round of the playoffs against Dallas, the Rockets won the first 2 games. And in Game 2, Ming finished with a game-high 33 points, making 13 of 14 shots in the second game, the best shooting performance in the playoffs in Rockets history.
McGrady to Yao. That's happened all night long.
Yeah, Yao, put it down. See why they wanted you to dunk? You're a fucking freak of nature, dude. Ain't nobody going up there to get that ball out of your hands if you're trying to really dunk it on them. Somebody can block a fucking layup. You can't block a 7'6" dude going for a dunk that's as big as Yao Ming. I mean, Kobe did block Yao Ming once or twice, though, I guess. You can block him, of course, but 95% of the time, you're not going to block Yao Ming.
However, other than Yao and T-Mac, Houston didn't have a great supporting cast, and the Mavericks bounced back, winning the series in 7 games, including a 40-point blowout in the deciding game, the largest Game 7 deficit in NBA history. Yao's final averages for the series were 21.4 points on 65% shooting and 7.7 rebounds. Ming missed a total of 2 games in his first 3 years in the NBA. But at the start of the 2006 season, the first signs of trouble arose. Yao developed inflammation in the big toe on his left foot, and after he played through pain in the first month of the season, he opted to have surgery, which sidelined him for 21 games. However, when he returned to action, Yao played the best basketball of his career, averaging 25.7 points and 11.6 rebounds per game, while shooting 53.7% from the field and 87.8% at the free throw line after the All-Star break.
Big man shooting almost 90% from the free throw line too? Shaq never even shot like 60%.
For the season, Ming averaged 22.3 points and 10.2 rebounds, making another All-Star and All-NBA third team. But with Yao missing 25 games and McGrady missing 35, the Rockets failed to qualify for the playoffs. And to make things worse, with only 4 games left in the season, Yao suffered another injury in a game against the Jazz, which left him with a broken bone in his left foot, which required 6 months to heal. And to improve their roster around their 2 superstars, the Rockets traded for one of the best 3-and-D players in the league, Shane Battier, and also a veteran point guard in Rafer Alston, better known as Skip to Malou.
First of all, Yao was one of the best teammates of all time. You talk about a guy who worked, who cared, who brought it every single day.
They had Skip to Malou on their team.
Never made excuses. And it was a superstar.
But even though Yao spent the summer rehabbing himself instead of working on his game, when he returned to the court, it became clear that he was in his prime. Physically, he was the strongest he'd ever been. The game had slowed down for him. And
a beast, man. Holy crap, he was a beast. If he would have stayed healthy, can you imagine how good he would have been?
The mid-range jumper, which he could take pretty much whenever he wanted, was pure as spring water.
Just an absolutely freak of nature. Something we've never seen before, dude. Like, as freaky as Wemby is, like, Yao Ming is Wemby on steroids. They're the same height. The only thing Wemby can do that Yao can't do is Wemby plays like a small forward. He could dribble, he could shoot.
Build the homes people needed.
For the first 2 months of the season, Ming was averaging 27, 10 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game, shooting 52% from the field and 87% from the free throw line.
Oh my God, those are insane fucking percentages. 52% from the field.
But then, just before Christmas, another setback. This time, Yao injured his knee, which sidelined him for 32 games. However, thanks to great play from McGrady, who averaged 24.6 points per game, and the improved roster, the Rockets made the playoffs, winning 52 games. Yao averaged 25 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 2 blocks for the season, making the All-NBA second team. And in the first round of the playoffs, he was finally healthy. The Rockets took a 3-2 lead against the Jazz, and it looked like they could make a deep playoff run for the first time in Yao's career. But the Jazz had other plans, winning the next 2 games and advancing, despite Yao and McGrady each averaging 25 points per game in the series. After the loss, Jeff Van Gundy got
tough, because if they're both averaging 25, that means they're already, just between 2 players, they're scoring 50. So that means, like, they just didn't have enough around them. Because if your 2 best players are scoring 50, and this is at the point in time in the NBA when games were typically 80 and 90 points. They weren't 120 and 130 like they are nowadays.
Fired and was replaced by the offensive-minded Rick Adelman. With the new coach and the addition of great role players like Luis Scola and Bonzi Wells, the Rockets once again look like title contenders, led by the great play of Yao, who averaged 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game.
Aubrey looked like he got a piece of that. Yao Ming slams it home, count it, and a blocking foul.
During February,
you better get out his way. I said I would jump, like in the Michael Jordan ones and shit. I said I would, no matter how many times Michael Jordan dunked on me, I would like keep going up trying to block him. Bro, you better get the fuck out the way. That is a 7'6", fucking 380-pound fucking tank coming at you. That's not embarrassment coming at you. That's a fucking linebacker trying to put you unconscious.
March, the Rockets won 22 consecutive games, which was the second longest win streak of all time. But during the 12th game of their streak, the Rockets lost Yao. The Chinese big man suffered a stress fracture in his left foot, the same one he had broken 3 times before.
The first time I feel that foot a little bit wrong is against New Orleans. I never had that kind of feel before. I feel a little bit strange. Said I need to take a look.
Yao Ming is out for this season with a stress fracture in his left foot.
It was a real shock to our team. The spirit of the team goes down, the energy goes down.
We're mostly bummed for him because we know how hard he worked, how much he put into the season, to our team, how much he cared about what our team was doing, especially winning 12 in a row.
I was stunned for like hours, just sitting thinking, what are the next step? Maybe there's a mistake.
Ming missed the rest of the season, and despite winning 55 games in the regular season, Houston once again lost to Utah in the first round.
Because Yao is such an unselfish guy, he felt like he let his teammates down.
His reaction was, I'm sorry that I got hurt, even though
no one around here could have even thought of a way to blame him.
Yao was supposed to recover for at least 4 months after he underwent a successful operation on March 3rd, which placed screws in his foot to strengthen the bone. He shouldn't have been able to play at the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, which he stated was the biggest loss of his career.
They told him it was an 8 to 11 month rehab process. Well, the Olympics were in August.
And there was definitely a countdown of, okay, what is the time frame? Can he be back?
He had way more pressure from the national team to get back and play. The regular rehab time that he needed, I think he needed more rest at the time, but the Yao Ming in demand was so much at that time.
We just cannot miss this. We cannot miss this. This is my duty right here for my country.
However, the will to play for his national team on home soil was too strong, and Yao returned to action on July 17th, at least 1 month ahead of schedule. On August 6th, Yao carried the Olympic flame and was once again selected to carry the Chinese flag during the opening ceremony.
Well, when I have a chance to carry the flag of my country, to walk, to lead the entire sports delegation walking to stadium, that's just like a life dream become true.
In the first game of the tournament, China played against Team USA, and Yao scored the first points of the game, a 3-pointer from the top of the key. And even though the Americans won 101-70, and Yao finished with just 13 points and 10 rebounds in the game, Ming was satisfied. I was just really happy to make that shot. It was our first score in our Olympic campaign here at home, and I'll always remember it. It represents that we can keep our heads up in the face of really tough odds. Following an overtime defeat to Spain, Yao scored 30 points in a win over Angola and 25 points in a 3-point win against Germany, which clinched China's place in the quarterfinals.
Coming back early from an injury and putting up numbers like that is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. 25 and 30.
However, China lost to Lithuania in the quarterfinals, eliminating them from the tournament. Yao's 19 points a game were the second highest in the Olympics, and his averages of 8.2 rebounds and 1.5 blocks per game were third overall. When he returned to Houston,
but this was the redeemed team. Let's be honest, China had no business or had no chance of winning against the USA that year. They brought Kobe in just to put the redeemed team together because the USA had lost in 2004.
Rockets assembled the greatest roster around him up to that point. The arrival of Ron Artest was huge, as he was one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. And Houston's bench also got deeper, with the addition of point guards Aaron Brooks and Kyle Lowry, and power forward Carl Landry.
McGee back in on Yao. Oh, Yao Ming throws it down.
Yao was finally healthy, playing in 77 regular season games, but it was clear that the injuries slowed him down. His averages dropped to 19.7 points and 10 rebounds per game, which was still good enough for Yao to make the second All-NBA team.
With Yao Ming, like that was I just never seen nothing like it. Like that guy is different. Playing with him was so easy to win.
But the Rockets' injury bug kept hurting them, and despite Yao being healthy, Tracy McGrady got injured, playing in just 35 games due to shoulder and knee injuries. However, despite the absence of their second-best player, the Rockets won 53 games and made the playoffs. In the first round against the Blazers, Yao finished with 24 points on 9 of 9 shooting in the first game, and the Rockets won 108-81. And even though Yao didn't dominate from a scoring standpoint, averaging just 16 points in the series, the Rockets were finally deep enough to win. And they advanced to the second round after 6 games, which was the first playoff series victory of Yao's career, but it would also be his last. In Game 1 against the Lakers, after scoring 28 points, including 8 points in the final 4 minutes, Ming led the Rockets to a 100-92 win.
I forgot that they played the Lakers in the 2009 fucking playoffs. This is the year that the Lakers beat Orlando.
Ming puts it in.
You could be universally loved.
The first year after the Olympics in 2008 when Lakers lost to Boston. This is in 2009.
By your cat.
I forgot all about that.
The Lakers won the next 2 games, but in Game 3, another disaster for Yao.
Anytime Yao is hobbling up the floor because of his past injury situation, you by the Rockets have to be concerned.
A hairline fracture in his left ankle meant that his season was over. And even though the injury didn't require surgery, the follow-up analysis indicated that the injury could be career-threatening. After weeks of consulting, it was decided that Yao would undergo surgery in order to repair the broken bone in his left foot, and he did not play the entire 2009-2010 season.
Damn.
If you were healthy in 2009, how much do you wonder if the Rockets would have won an NBA championship that year?
No, well, first of all, there's no if. You know, it's a waste of time. But you do think about it, sometimes think about it back, and you did. And I did, and I think if we can pass Lakers, we have a pretty good chance to win a championship that year.
For the 2011 season, the Rockets said they would limit Yao to 24 minutes a game, with no plan to play him on back-to-back nights, as their goal was to keep Yao healthy in the long term. However, after only 5 games, Yao broke his left ankle again and would miss another season.
My first couple injuries,
it was over with. His feet and ankles gave out. This is why I was getting so mad at OKC when they were purposely stepping on Victor's feet at like the free throw line and shit. Like when Victor would be trying to go jump up to grab a rebound after somebody shot a free throw, the OKC would be stepping on his feet and shit. I was like, there's physical play and then there's dirty play. Like, you can't be doing that to somebody who's 7'6". Their feet are their biggest weakness. That's just dirty play, straight out intentionally trying to hurt somebody. Look how easy it was for Yao Ming to get hurt. Like, hurt his feet over and over, and his ankles and his feet over and over again. And you could see OKC was intentionally trying to do that.
Pretty simple, you know. Sometimes I hurt my toe, I hurt my 5th metatarsal on my left, and I hurt my knee. You know, there's never re-injured. That's good because it means that those injuries are just an accident. And it can be recovered. My latest injury is re-injury.
For the next 6 months, Ming worked hard to come back and resurrect his career, but his body was telling him otherwise.
Basketball giant Yao Ming announced this morning that he is retiring.
On July 20th, 2011, Yao announced his retirement from basketball in a press conference in Shanghai, citing left foot and ankle injuries as the main reasons for his retirement. For his career, Ming averaged 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game on 52% shooting from the field and 83% from the free throw line, which is the 5th best mark among all centers in NBA history. On September 9th, 2016, Yao was inducted into the Hall of Fame, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson, with each player providing some of the most memorable speeches in Hall of Fame history.
When I heard that I would be the first speaker tonight, I think maybe somebody made a mistake, because I think this spot belonged to great Allen Iverson. You know why? Because I need more practice than him.
If it wasn't for all those
we talking about practice? We're not talking about the game. We talking about practice? Why y'all in here asking me about practice? If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, that's what Allen Iverson was saying years ago with his coaches and the news and the press, and everybody was getting on him about missing in practices.
Injuries to his left foot, Yao could truly be one of the best big men of all time, as nobody before him combined that size with that much skill.
You know, Yao's career was ended short. He broke his foot, and I saw what he could do. The reason Yao was so incredible because he was just big and dominant, and he had skill. You couldn't stop him.
7'5", shooting fadeaways, turnaround jump shot, getting to the middle hook shot. You can't block it. Pick and pop to the elbow. He's making that.
But even though his NBA career was cut short, Yao Ming was truly a giant for the game, both literally and metaphorically. He was the biggest ambassador for the NBA in Asia, popularizing the league beyond measure, bringing billions of dollars to the NBA and becoming a global icon.
I will always remember my time spent with Houston Rockets as some of the best time in my life. I will always consider you my family. I'm a Texan and the Houston Rockets for life.
I'm a Texan. The way he said Texan, it cracked me up.
Rockets as some of the best time in my life. I will always consider you my family. I'm a Texan and the Houston Rockets for life.
That's awesome. He said, I'm a Texan and a Houston Rocket for life. Man, one of the biggest what ifs I think ever, because what if he stayed healthy? What if he had a team around him? You know what I mean? Like, he could have been one of the greatest centers we've ever seen. Like, if he got 4 rings, are we talking about Yao Ming is a better center than Shaq, skill-wise and everything? Because I think skill-wise, Yao Ming had more in his bag than Shaq. Fucking Shaq was not shooting turnaround faders and shit like that. Like, what are we talking about? So honestly, Yao Ming, if he would have won a couple championships, we might be talking about the greatest big man to ever play the game. But it's the biggest what if story, honestly. Not the biggest, but one of the biggest what if stories. Let me know what y'all thought about this one. I appreciate everybody's love and support, man. I just made a live stream about how we just hit 500,000 views on YouTube. So I really do appreciate each and every one of y'all. But, man, it's still live.